I'm just futzing around today, messing around with the Dart and the Fastback. So far, nobody's seen it, but oh well. I've got to do some stuff on some carburetors today. For whatever reason, let's see if I can flip this camera around. There we go. Alright, for whatever reason, that right there. Hey JB, how's it going? That won't go through and squirt any fuel at all out of the accelerator pump. So, unfortunately, that's not the only one. Fastback as well. So, hey Tim, how's it going? Yeah, we're playing around with these little carburetors. Oh, we did a little bit of cleanup out here by the house the other day. I moved these vehicles. The 318 that was on the ground behind this car is at the machine shop. That car's moved around. I got a few other things to do. I need to do a scrap haul, but haven't done it. The other problem that I ran into is the Fastback as well. The accelerator pump is not working. Justin Hill, welcome, man. Yeah, we're actually, believe it or not, less than 75 hours away from full monetization. So I figured I'd try to throw something else out here since I was already going to be working. This really wasn't something I thought about doing a full video on, since it's just normal stuff. Thank you, Tim. The boys aren't feeling too good. Even though it was last week, we celebrated Claudia and Judah's birthday today, and so we got them pretty good. I'll throw a picture up on one of my community posts. We got them where they put Mexican sombreros on their heads at the restaurant we went to, so that surprised them. And then after that, we went to a state park that's called Old Tunnel State Park, and it's an old railroad tunnel that they no longer use as of the 40s. And it's got a bunch of Mexican bats in there, but it's a pretty cool little deal. I did a short video of that today, but see if I can get this set up. There we go. But otherwise, I'm just futzing around. Justin, I'm actually in Comal County, a place over by New Braunfels, Texas, where we went to see that other stuff was over near Fredericksburg, which is Gillespie County. But yeah, we're over Comal County area. More specifically, Canyon Lake is where I'm actually at. Get this out of the way. See if it shows up my chats in here. I hate having to leave these cars from time to time to where they're just sitting, because inadvertently I end up having to rebuild them pretty quick. This one, the accelerator diaphragm wasn't working on it this morning. I was actually going to drive this thing to church. Which is a bummer because I know this one works. Let's see. Work's going okay. I've actually got, I guess to let y'all know, the reason I didn't end up showing up to No Name Nationals this year is I've got to move into my other house, the one that we've been building for several years, like 4.5 years. I got to move out of my parents' place and move there by the end of the year. So I've spent the last couple weeks doing drainage and vent lines on the plumbing, hooking up the water, doing drywall, trying to take care of some automotive stuff that happened. I ended up with a broken window on the car, and we've been working on the F-250 as well. Yeah, thankfully, Lynn, at this point, diaphragm isn't that big a deal. There's already been an operation. At first I thought the fuel pump was the problem on this sucker, and then when I checked it back out, I figured out that it wasn't because the fuel bowl was full. I just couldn't get any squirter shot on it. That's what I get for having to leave home for a month at a time and not drive it. Yeah, looks like I'm gonna need a Phillips for this. But yeah, that's what we're working on. And so basically, when No Name Nationals came up, I was supposed to be, I got off work and actually got home the afternoon of the Wednesday before No Name Nationals. So I would have had to do a quick turnaround. And with the amount of money that we need, I thought it was funny, Lynn. I would have had to have left that same day to come back, and I'd already been working nights. Well, that just squirted, so what's the deal? Probably inside the other area. What ended up happening is I was so tired from working almost a month worth of nights that I'd have fallen asleep going to the No Name Nationals. I probably could have only made it about 4 or 5 hours down the road, and I was just totally exhausted. Hey, hey, hey. Yes, we see a Mustang. How's it going, Andy? Now, my engine for the Fairlane actually got out of the machine shop the Friday of No Name Nationals. I could have brought the GT, but at that point it was just like I just had to put on my big boy shorts and do real life stuff. I mean, it's just the way it goes sometimes. I know there's others that had to do the same thing. It really bummed me though, because there was a bunch of people I really wanted to see, and I just didn't get to go. But you got to put family first sometimes. Dean, how you doing? How's the Kiwi doing? Or I thought they said Kiwi. I worked on a boat for a little while with several New Zealanders and Australians, so there was always back and forth between the Aussies and the Kiwis. Yes, Lynn, it does, and it was just one of them things. So yeah, next year I hope so, and to tell you the truth, it should be good because the oldest, Ian, is now ready to get his learner's permit, and next year he'll actually be able to drive. So that would be another fun one. So Here's one that you might like, Andy. Old 84 Fox body. And then of course the 71 Dart. Had to get the screwdriver, but we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping everything works out. I gotta go through and edit a couple more videos. We still haven't done the fire up yet on, let me see if I can flip it around here. Let's see if it'll go. There we go. The Ranchero is sitting back over there. I filmed the boys going through and doing their timing chain and fuel pump eccentric on it. Timing cover, that's all back on. But there's still a few things that we need to do. And it's just been wild on this end. We haven't been able to focus like we wanted to. Last weekend I got sick. I got sick last weekend, so all weekend I was sick last weekend. And then the boys aren't feeling too good, or neither is Claudia today. So instead of doing a fire up, I'm out here working on my stuff. Don't want to do that. There we go. It almost shut it off. The weight is stuck under the squirter. Huh. Well, when I just squirted it a minute ago, it popped it out this hole, so I'm almost wondering if I don't have some crud inside the metering block, to tell you the truth. Because now it'll move, and I did get some squirt out. I'll take it out. I'll take it apart and see if the weight's stuck or not. Turbo Tom, how's it going? Really, I need to turn around and get me something like a double pumper, or go ahead and put the Fox body fuel injection back on this engine. I've got a full harness and everything for it. Wouldn't have to go the aftermarket route. Brake parts clear. Now the little check ball actually is moving around like it's supposed to. So I love the four-eyed cars too. That's the only reason I've still kept that car. That one started as a $200 four-cylinder car that I picked up from my brother, and he was going to put a 289 in it. And then he ended up with a C10, an 82 C10 short wheelbase, and I got stuck with the 4i. So I put a 302 in it that had a 30 overbore with 10 thousandths clearance on the pistons and mixed matched heads, and I ran that for a while. Then it went to another 289 that I've still got, and then after that it went from the C4 to a T5, but my brother put the wrong flywheel on there, so it went to a 50 ounce balance instead of the 28 ounce. And he did a side step from 6,000 RPMs, and let's just say the cam retainer broke. We'll catch you later there, Andy. There we go. Now I just gotta go find me another straw for this sucker. Oh. Sorry to haul y'all like this. I know I got one somewhere. All right, there. Get me one of these so I can blow out those ports, put it back together. Hopefully it'll work. The way I've got this the way I've got this thing set up with the fuel pump, I've actually got an 80s or 90s LP94. Good to see you. I've actually got a rollover or inertia switch on there, so that if you're in a wreck, it actually stops your fuel pump. Yeah, I guess it is after morning. It's more like close to evening, afternoon now. There we go. There we go. Yeah, that's still good. Yeah, there we go. Alright, I got one of these on. That one. Here. What is there? Also, another thing that John, how's it going? Yeah, one of the things that I've been working on this too is I got to take and readjust where the arm hits the accelerator pump. All right. Let's see here. There we go. That's on. Should be able to see if it's going to take a squirt now. So now time to click on the pump. And I'm a noob. I forgot the transfer tube. So the thought process on the other carb tends to be, since the other carb I got to work on for the pump shot is a BBD, it's a Carter. They think that the O-ring on the pump is actually out of sorts. Plenty of rust. Alright, so alright, those two can go in. This one on first. Well, dang, I'm not sure where all the bolts went. I gotta find them. It's a clear one, that's here. Oh, there's the other one. In between the distributor and the intake. Also, instead of running an Edelbrock intake on here, this is actually the Y Stealth that's in here. I found one used for cheaper. We'll see you later, JB. It's kind of nice not being underneath the house today. I was underneath that crawl space for 2 days doing drainage and vent lines. All right, let's see here. crossover rods in. So crossover rods in and everything else. A basement. I'd have had to pull out a jackhammer and dynamite to make a basement where we're at. We're up on top of a limestone hill, so it's kind of tough. All right. Nothing. I got fuel. Well, time to turn the fuel pump off. Let's see what somebody said real quick. Yes, I normally work on, well, it's not really a rig. It's a, it looks like a rig. It's a lift boat is what it's called. But what we're actually doing right now is we're working off of Block Island, Rhode Island. And we're elevated up next to a distribution platform for the wind farms. I guess it could have been above ground, yeah. Let's see what happens when I pull the squirter out. Huh. Still not getting up into there. All right, well, let's see. Okay. Now it's working. Yeah, I guess Andy was right. Even though it looked like it was moving around, it didn't. Now it's working. And I forgot the keys, but now it'll actually start up. So on to the next one. Grab this. Now I probably shouldn't be working on the dart, but when we were messing around the other day moving vehicles, I actually went through and just tossed some gas down the carburetor, and it cranked right up. No hesitation, and it hadn't been cranked up in close to a year. But there again, I couldn't get the accelerator to go on it. Let's see if it's got... And I ain't got any of my keys right now, so I gotta go get some keys real quick. But what I should be working on is actually over here. I got it uncovered earlier. But all wrapped up right here is the 351 Windsor. I got it. Actually, the Windsor's ready to go except for the intake. I went through and popped out the pump seal, and the new one, wouldn't you know, damaged when I tried to put it in. So I've got 2 new seals. I went ahead and bought 2 instead of 1 because I have to order them in. So with those, that's just a matter of installing the seal, installing the motor mounts, torque converter, and bolting up the transmission, and that's actually ready to drop into the car. I still need to go through and check the push rod length because I may and may not need new push rods on that one, because we went with a reduced base circle cam, and the deck's been milled, the heads have been milled, everything's perfectly flat, but we went 0 deck on the pistons in that car, and also stepped up the lift on the cam. So even though it's actually, I think, within acceptable, not necessarily great, but acceptable sizes, I don't want to push it too far. So let's see, the bag of keys. Keys to the Mustang, the Fairlane, all right, there's the got a couple of them. Actually, the camera is the professional. It's actually got some of the camera shake stuff that it actually automatically takes out of it. So I really like this cell phone. And of the ones we were using at Kim's over at Bear Rose's garage when we were over there, it was pretty nice, the one I let Judah carry, because it has the auto stabilization as well. And we could tell the difference between the ones he shot and the ones Ian shot. Yeah. I get a little bit of shake to my hand. I've had that since I was probably in my 20s or whatever. I can be rock steady for no time, or for a long time, and all of a sudden it just, my hands start getting shaky. So let's see real quick. Since we got the keys, that's the Fastback. That's how easy it starts. That's a cold start. So that's cool. Now I can actually drive it. Oh, and I grabbed the wrong set, I bet you. There are 2 blue keys on the Chrysler stuff, and I think I grabbed the wrong one. Oh, let's see. Yep, I grabbed the wrong one. Time to go back to the house. That. There's those. Can't believe I did that. So I'm here for another week. I've got some work that I've got to do on the F-250 probably tomorrow. And I've got to change out exhaust manifold gaskets on another truck. And then I gotta finish bolting up some stuff. Still says there's 5 people here. Cars, how many cars do I have? I think the last time we counted is 16. Not including the ones my boys have. And so I used to keep all the keys in the cars, and it's a good 200 yards from the front gate to where we're at over here on the 10 acres. But the problem being is somebody found out my cars were here and started going through all the trunks and digging through my car, so I took all the keys out. Oh yeah, but we got the good ones. All right. There it is. This one was the one we were looking for. But it's interesting. But we found when we moved that Coronet last week, that's my oldest son's car. We couldn't get it to roll regular. We actually ended up having to push it. Well, one of the shoes on the front driver's side had gotten saturated at some point, was real gummy and spongy, and actually was sticking to the drum. So we got that out and the whole thing moved like it was supposed to. The Dart moves really good. The brakes actually work on the Dart, and we're down to, I need to finish hooking up the kickdown cable, because when I bought it, it didn't have all the kickdown linkage. It only had from the carburetor back to the pivot, but none of the rods were there. And you really need the full set, otherwise if you mix mash them, they don't like to play real good. So that's why I grabbed the low car kickdown cable for it. And the Coronet is set up the same way. I put the kickdown cable on it the other day, as far as on the transmission side of it, and it worked out. So let's see. There we go. I guess I'm trying to see if I could show it a little bit better. This thing, you can actually take it for a couple spots. I got another clip, but there's a clip that holds your accelerator right here in place, but mine will still do it. I had fuel all the way up into the bowl by cranking it. The fuel pump actually works, and I actually had the whole top apart, but the thinking is that the plunger itself is probably bad. So I basically take the accelerator pump piece off right here. See if I can. Those are the little clips that clip this thing together. Once that's loose and that's loose, other than some vacuum lines, this will all come off. I bought another carb kit for this, but hey Jason, how's it going? But I guess the general thought on this one is that it's probably that fuel pump little gasket deal. Busy getting ready for winter. What's winter? I figured I'd add that one in for you, Jason. We only get a few days of it down here, sometimes a week or so, and that's about it. But it sure as heck gets hot during the summer. Well, my wife and my mom would probably like it. My mother-in-law. All right. Actually, who I need to have down here working on this carburetor is Jason. All right, come on, let go. Well, I guess it could be. You can see how that's kind of messed up. On this side here, yeah, it's all deformed. I'll have to go get the other. Yeah, I know they'd understand, Jason. But yeah, if you look at the, let's see if I can bring it up. This thing's all messed up, so I may just go ahead and swap that piece out and see if that's all it needs. I've got a full another kit here at the house. I should have grabbed that when I was in there, huh? Because we got fuel. But some now though. So right now the fuel is in this jug. It runs over to the mechanical pump, but the mechanical pump works good. And if I need any extra, I just toss it out of there into it. Well, let's see. I'm gonna go grab that squirter, and then I'm gonna grab the battery, swap the squirter out, put it back, throw the battery in there, and crank it over. Unfortunately, my extra 2 batteries are with the F250, and that's about 30 minutes from where I'm sitting, so I'll have to pull the battery out of the Mustang again. But just trying to do a little bit. I'd really like to be getting that Ranchero fired up, but with the boys not feeling too hot this afternoon, it'll probably have to be tomorrow or something. They're all out of school for Columbus Day. I'm so used to being on that boat where every day's like every other day. Don't matter if it's Christmas, Thanksgiving, Columbus Day, New Year's, or whatever. When you're on the boat, you're on the boat. But anywho. Oh, yeah. Oh. No, we're the new place that I'm building is actually, there we go, right there. The new place that we're building is actually in a subdivision, and the lot's only 60 by 120, but it is about 5 minutes, maybe a little bit longer if there's traffic, from where we're at right now. Used not to be any traffic, but there are a lot of people moving into this county. I think this is county number 5 as far as the 10 most moved to counties right now. And the one next door, which is Hayes County, is number 6. ASO, how you doing? Well, let's see. Yeah, we got all kinds of chickens and ducks around here too. Luckily the ducks ain't making a lot of noise right now. But well, ASO, I looked at the meter today, and as of this morning I was 75 public view hours from my 4,000 to be completely monetized, but we'll see how it is after today. I've got some people watching some videos, and of course we got a live going on right now, so we will see. That is a totally different style plunger. See if I've got something else in here. Huh. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. Well, I guess I need to go look and see if I've got another one of these off of a, what's that? See if I got another kit for a Edelbrock or something. I think I got one in this other car. I'm just not sure. I know we did a rebuild. I don't know if we used that portion of the rebuild kit. Ooh, they're gonna have to move those. On the other side. And there's some more parts. Now, this is the style inertia switch that I was talking about. This is another separate one that I've got that I want to put on this one eventually for that electric fuel pump. Alright, trim parts. Nope. Time to go to another spot. Oh, as soon as I get the right right fittings hooked up, I also have this right here for doing startups. Got a nice little fuel cell there. It's a 3-gallon. And I do have one here. I just got to finish hooking everything back up so it'll work right. Alright. Time to find the Edelbrock kits. Yes, the bowl was full of fuel on when I pulled the top off, Jason. It wouldn't, when you hit the plunger, it will not squirt, and I filled it up a little bit more and it still wouldn't squirt. Here's Edelbrock. Alright. Hoping I got a... Yep, I do. What I was looking for. So, thank God for another Edelbrock kit that I had here. 1/2 inch right there. If you dump fuel down that carburetor, it will pop right off. So the only other thing I can think of is once I replace this accelerator pump gasket right here for a seal, if I can I'll throw the battery back in and let you see what I'm talking about, but I'm hoping it'll crank up and idle. There we go. I haven't got the tag that came with this one. still on it. The other thing I may have to end up doing is I may also have to worry about the settings on the underneath this cap plate right there, but we'll see once that's done. All right, so this one goes on there. This one is there. Gotta figure out what I do with the other clip or pull one out of that other one. All right, so there's that. No, no squirt. We'll see in a second. I guess on that one there's two settings. One's for the, you gotta set some the piece up on notch number 2 for the fast idle, and then you do a measurement at the choke horn, and then once you've got that one done, then you go to the next section of that arm, and you've got to press it to a certain spot and adjust it too with a measurement. I thought I had them done like that before, but I have no idea at this point. I stuck brake parts cleaner with a straw into it the other day to see if all the passages were open, and all the passages were open. So trying to get this sucker back out. And we'll see how it goes. I guess when I get finished, I'll have to relabel this one as messing around with carburetors. It's over here. All right, let's see. Flip it around. So Alright, there's that. Keys are in the ignition. Toss some fuel in. So it will kick off. But now just can't see any fuel coming out whatsoever. So I imagine I'm going to have to go through and just totally take that carburetor back apart and rebuild it. I'll run it through a sonic cleaner, try that out for a little while, because just a little bit of that and it'll actually run. Well, let's see if it'll show me my chat or not. There we go. No, only if it's not getting fuel is what the problem is. I had Ian hold the foot on the throttle, or even hold it like that, and as long as I've got fuel going into it, so I mean it's getting fuel like right to here. In this case, it's getting fuel here. You can see where it's getting fuel. It's full in the bowl, and when I crank on it, it just won't, it's not showing any shot at all. And as you can see, I just changed the piece for the pump, and that one actually will work. It's not pulling fuel through it, so I'm more than likely going to have to take and go through and just take it all back apart again, double check all the idle passages and everything else. So I'm just happy it still starts, because this one actually had a burnt piston on, I don't remember which one. It was either I think it was probably number 8. It was either 7 or 8. Burnt piston on it, and we pulled it out, cleaned up the cylinder, ran a ball hone through it, threw a piston out of another 360 Magnum that had pretty much the same weight on the piston and rod, and just replaced it that way and put it right back together. And it runs. It's got good compression on all 8 now, but the piston definitely had a messed up mark in it. I may even have that still. I got one of my buddies, the one who had the rat rod with the early model Hemi in it, and also had the slant 6. Oh, there we go, right there. Had a slant 6 dart. Yeah, I'll say it had a burnt piston, wouldn't you? There's 2 of them that I've repaired that had the same exact thing. There's another piston laying around here somewhere that looks exactly the same way. But that one came out of the one that's in my son's Coronet. That one will actually, if I throw a battery in it real quick, actually I may have the keys in it. If I throw the battery in it and toss some fuel down the carburetor, it'll start as well. And that one's got the 4-barrel. It would actually idle, but really not interested in messing with it today. But anyways, I guess I'm gonna pull this carburetor off and go ahead and see about rebuilding it. I just figured some of the guys might like to see what I was playing with today. Where is my chat? So anyways, thank you for coming around, guys. It'll start, just ain't running. Hopefully I can get it to straighten out on that side of it. If I can get that straightened out, then hook up the kick down linkage and might drive it down the driveway. Thank y'all for coming along, and I guess I'll talk to some of y'all a little bit later. Thank you, Lynn.